We are now entering the 4th season of mhnow, and we are getting a new weapon type, the Switch Axe. It's a very technical weapon, so in this video we're gonna go through the important armor skills you might want to have for the Switch Axe before Season 4 arrives next month. Now I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this weapon for a very long time, so let me cut to the chase and tell you that there's 2 potential armor skills that you might want to have in every Switch Axe build, and that's Quick Work and Power Prolonger. That's because the main gimmick of the Switch Axe is that it switches between an axe mode and a sword mode. When using the Switch Axe, it's important that we effectively use both modes. Sword mode outputs the most damage, but it's limited by this vial gauge. Each sword swing consumes this gauge, and once it runs out, you'll be forced to switch back to axe mode. While in axe mode, your vial gauge will recover over time, but you can't switch back to sword mode without any vial gauge. So we will either wait for it to recover over time, or we can perform this lengthy reload animation. Now, we want to avoid doing this as much as possible, so to effectively use the Switch Axe, we need to seamlessly transform between the 2 modes. And that's where Quick Work comes in. Quick Work will allow us to quickly transform from axe mode into sword mode almost seamlessly. That's why I think Quick Work is far more important with the Switch Axe rather than with the Charge Blade. The second skill potentially important for the Switch Axe is Power Prolonger. That's because the Switch Axe can enter a powered up state called Amped State. Attack enough times with the sword mode and your sword will start to glow, indicating that it has entered the Amped State. When your Switch Axe is glowing, each of your attacks will be followed by an extra vial burst explosion. Keeping the Switch Axe in this amped state will result in more damage, and Power Prolonger will extend the duration of this amped state for much longer. So, depending on how long the amp state lasts and how long it takes to transform the Switch Axe will determine how many points of Quick Work and Power Prolonger we will need in mhnow. I'll be sure to test these out and share the results with you guys. But for now, I think it's best to have enough materials to craft the Acnosome Vambraces. It has both Quick Work and Power Prolonger, which makes it perfect for the Switch Axe. So you might want to farm for some more Acnosomes during the Season 3 Climax event. The Coral Puke legs might be an important armor piece for the Switch Axe as well, since it has Power Prolonger and Weakness Exploit. Weakness Exploit being a very nice skill to have, because for offensive skills, the Switch Axe also benefits from affinity skills like Crit Eye and Weakness Exploit. Most of its damage will be coming from sword swings and axe swings. The only thing not affected by affinity are the extra vial explosions you get during the amp state. But aside from that, most Switch Axe attacks will still crit. Now, whether elemental attack skills or crit element will be better for the Switch Axe will depend on how elemental vials are calculated, because Switch Axe vials work kind of differently. It's not like the Charge Blade. It's actually a bit more complicated than that. Depending on the vial type, it either buffs the Switch Axe's elemental attack or it's raw. It can also add special status effects on the Switch Axe, but more on that later on. We will have to test out the different vial types when Season 4 drops. And who knows? Raw power vial Switch Axes might be the new meta, especially with the new Tigrex weapons and the new skill Critical Ferocity. Hunter's Notes gave us some details regarding this skill, so be sure to check out his video as well. For quality of life skills, the Switch Axe's sword mode has a very bad dodge roll, so it's usually paired with Evade Extender. But hey, I can dodge attacks using the lance, so I bet I can dodge attacks with the Switch Axe with no problems. But aside from the new Switch Axe, there's also new monsters coming in Season 4. There's Tigrex, Lagombi, Volvidon, and Somnacant. Tigrex is weak against Thunder and Dragon, Somnacant is weak to Thunder and Fire, and Lagombi is weak to Fire. So it's best that you prioritize upgrading your Thunder and Fire weapons before Season 4. Rajang will be appearing more frequently during the Season 3 Climax event, so if you need more materials to upgrade your Rajang weapons, this is the perfect time to do so. Volvidon is the biggest outlier in this season, because it's weak to water and ice. But I don't think Volvidon will pose much of a threat. The monsters that might be dangerous for our high-leveled hunters are Tigrex and Somnacant. Tigrex will be fast and aggressive. It's gonna use a lot of running attacks and lunging attacks, much like Barioth, so the game plan will be the same. It's to break its forelegs first. Now, if you want to have a meta build going into Season 4, then be sure to check out this video next.